You just waiting for people to come in. We'll give it another minute or two. Everybody, good morning on Rumble. Good morning on Cloud Hub. Good morning on YouTube. Good morning on X. Used to be Twitter, but it's now X. And is it excellent, do you think? I don't know. So we'll see. But thank you so much for being here. So glad that you are. And let's just get everything up and running, make sure everybody is here, and then we will get started. Okay, so I hope you are staying warm. I know that the weather is crazy across the country, absolutely bone chilling cold in certain places. California today has had its share of cold weather at night, especially getting down into the 30s, which is really unusual for us. Um, and they do a lot of things here like cloud seeding, which they admit to. So it's not a conspiracy theory or anything like that. But there's a lot of things that go on here that I think that is changing our weather. If and I won't say the other word that's going on right now in Davos, because if I do that, then I will be censored again on YouTube. So hello, Chicago Pops. How are you? Good to see you. So I want to get started on a new topic today. I hope this will benefit you. And so let's go ahead without further ado and get started. And if you have any comments during the video, go ahead and just type them out. I will see them and I can respond to you during the video. So let's get started on this. All right. Today we're going to talk about how can I change my bad habits so that I can achieve a healthier me. Before we get started, as always, we're going to have a little disclaimer that the following steps that have worked for me may or may not work for you. And as always, if you feel it necessary, contact your doctor and consult with him or her about what's right for you. So let's get started here. Now, in order to make a change, do you need to manifest something before it's going to happen? And let's take a look at what does it mean to manifest? Well, it's something to manifest something means to make your dreams, goals, and aspirations a reality by believing you can achieve them. The idea is that by believing you can do something and focusing your thoughts and energy in that direction, you can actually make it happen. Hmm. Now, for me, when I hear someone talk about manifesting, it conjures up the magical or mystical for me. It seems like that it's something out of the reach of the average person. Manifesting. A lot of people don't even know what manifesting means. And then to add that, can an average person do that? Well, if so, what does it take? Because it sounds so hard. I don't know. It sounds so difficult. How do we reach that manifestation goal? And it's also something for me that has a new age feel to it, and it's just simply not for me. In other words, it's a bit off putting for me. And in case you're not familiar with what off putting is, and if you haven't heard it in a while, it means provoking uneasiness, dislike, annoyance, or repugnance, disturbing, or disagreeable. Yeah, I kind of feel most, if not all of those things when I hear people talking about manifesting. So then, is there something more relatable for me and perhaps for you that can be done in order to make a change, a positive change in your life? And the answer is yes, there is for me and possibly for you. Now, it's simple and uncomplicated, and there's no magical element to it either. Did I mention that it's simple? But seriously, it's called cognitive behavioral activity, if you want to give it a name. What does that mean? Well, it's changing the way you think, which in turn changes your behavior. Cognitive behavioral activity is a type of cognitive restructuring designed to eliminate unhelpful thinking, negative thought patterns, and other cognitive distortions. You know, how many times do you go through the day and just think, oh, Why did that happen? Oh gosh, why can't I find a parking place? Oh, I'm tired. And how many of those thoughts are negative thoughts rather than positive thoughts? Like, I know when I get there, I'm going to find a parking space. It's going to be fine. Or, you know, I'm not going to worry about politics because there's nothing I can really do right now about it. We're not even voting yet. I can watch things, I can listen to things, but I'm not going to devote my entire life to it. It's too negative. It's too negative. It's going to bring me down. I don't want to be brought down. I've got things to do. Now, does cognitive behavioral activity work? Changing your thoughts to change your behavior. And as a psychotherapist, I have seen it work successfully many times, and it has worked for me as well. Now, let's look at some common cognitive distortions. As we read through them, ask yourself, do any sound familiar? Yes, no, maybe. All right, the first cognitive distortion is an all or nothing thinking. We don't live in a black and white world, and there are plenty of gray areas within the human experience. However, someone impacted by an all or nothing thinking tends to only see situation in terms of extremes. It's black white, all or nothing, up down. There's no in between, no gray area. For an example, somebody who thinks it's easier for her to lose weight, but I could never lose weight. So it's already, thinking they can do it, I can't do it. Black and white. It works for them, not for me. And so what happens when you think that way, it really causes you to quit before you even get started because you've already convinced yourself that you can't do it. So why even try? Instead of looking at, well, maybe there were some things that I didn't do when I was trying to lose weight that would be helpful to me. And maybe I should go back and look at that and find out what that is so I can lose weight too. And if I'm not losing weight the way I think I should be doing, why don't I consult with my doctor or a nutritionist? This way, I can find out what works for me. The second cognitive distortion is mental filtering. Mental filtering is the tendency to only focus on the negatives of the situation while overlooking the positives altogether. For example, I can't exercise, I'm too old. Rather than looking at that and going, I can exercise, there are some things that I can do. Maybe I can't, run 20 miles like I used to when I was 20 years old, but maybe I think there are some people, older people who can do that. But for yourself, you might say, I can't do that anymore. But you can look at it and say, there are some things that I can do. And also because I'm getting older, I think there's some really positive benefits to exercising. So I want to look into that instead of just totally dismissing it and overlooking what could be very much positive benefits for myself. Number three, jumping to conclusions is the tendency to make unhelpful assumptions based on little or no evidence. Again, example, trying to eat right's too hard. I can't do it. Instead of looking at that and going, what are my assumptions about the right food? Am I looking at food the wrong way? Am I looking at the types of food I should be eating the wrong way? I mean, maybe there's some things I can do that wouldn't make it too hard, and I can eat well at the same time. That would be great. And again, I know I always push this, but the Mediterranean food plan, it's not difficult. It's pretty simple, and there are very simple recipes that will help you to eat right, eat well, and perhaps lose weight. Another cognitive distortion is overgeneralization. It's a cognitive distortion similar to mental filtering. It causes people to take one negative experience and generalize it to a pattern that may or may not actually exist. And it could be, for example, I tried to lose weight before, but it didn't work for me. I just can't lose weight. So you're just overgeneralizing again. Again, you have to look at the steps of, did you try things, everything that you could to lose weight? Did you just quit before you got started? And if you're going to look at one time and just say you can't do it, boy, that is really an overgeneralization. Number five, disqualifying the positive. It's only focusing on the negative aspects of a situation while ignoring its positive aspects. For example, I will admit when I was younger, I used to walk, but I'm just too tired to walk now. And so, again, you have to kind of look at that and see, are you spending too much time sitting on the sofa, uh, looking at the internet or other social media things, and you're focusing on what you used to be able to do, and therefore you can't do it now, so I'm just not going to do it at all. So there are some, again, positive benefits in some things that people sort of overlook and decide that they can no longer do them, or they never could, or they're not going to try. But they would find if they did try, there would be some very positive benefits to it. Getting away from social media, freeing your mind from garbage on social media, getting up and exercising, maybe lowering your blood pressure, maybe lowering your weight, and which will help with your cholesterol, et cetera, et cetera. So many benefits. Now, another one is personalization. It's the tendency to take everything personally, blame yourself for every negative situation and outcome. For example, I don't have a very strong will, so I can't change that. I'm just weak. So you look at that and you go, I just don't have the ability to do that. When you probably do, but you've convinced yourself that you don't. And maybe you don't have a support system of help around you. Not that you can't do this on your own, but having support around you is also always a good thing. But what can you do? All right. Make positive changes by getting rid of the negative thoughts that continue to plague them. How many people do that? But how do you do this? How do you get rid of those negative thoughts that continue to plague you and maybe have plagued you throughout your entire life? Well, here are a few things that to do that you can start changing things today. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Start making positive changes today. Okay, here's one: positive affirmations. If you tell yourself something often enough, you may eventually believe it. This is true for the negative thoughts, but can be just as true for positive ones. So instead of always telling yourself, I can't do something, it's not going to turn out, I used to do it, but it never worked for me, I can. What about saying positive things, right? Example, say out loud, I am worthy of being healthy. God will help me, or I am doing my best and that's good enough. Or how about just watch me succeed? I know I can do it. You say it long enough. What's that little term that people say? Fake it till you make it. It sounds funny, but it actually works. I mean, you keep telling yourself positive things and your brain is going to feel more positive. You're going to start even unconsciously sometimes doing positive behavior that you don't even realizing you're doing. For example, instead of sitting on the couch and looking at social media, by saying these positive affirmations to yourself, you may pick up a book and start reading it, a book about being healthy. Or you may think, you know what, I can get in a quick walk and this will be fun. I'll go outside. I can, have a nice walk through the neighborhood. This will be great. Also, some things that you can do: you can put these positive affirmations on a piece of paper, cut them out, and put them on the mirror that you look at every day. So you'll see them every single day. And it starts helping you think in a more positive way. Now, also journaling. If you like to write, journal about your negative thoughts and experiences and what you can do to leave those in the past. Some people want to find out, why do I have those negative thoughts? Where did they start? Why do I keep saying that? How do I feel that the negative thoughts benefit me? What am I getting out of it? Because if you weren't getting something out of it, you wouldn't continue to do it. Now, you don't have to do this in order to change your behavior. Because you can just change it to positive. You don't have to find out the roots of where it all started. But some people do find that journaling is really good to help them once and for all find out where something came from, and then just go, you know what? I'm getting rid of it today. I'm not going to think that way ever again. Now, I always like the rubber bandit method. Some people don't like this, but it can work. What this is you put a loose rubber band on your wrist, and every time you have a negative thought about yourself, you snap that rubber band against your wrist. Now, in today's world, that's ooh, that's ouch, a little pain for a whole lot of gain is what I say. But in a world where we live in today, sometimes a little pain just cannot be tolerated. So if you're one of those people who can't tolerate any type of pain, even from a little rubber band, then you don't want to do it. But I find that it does help because it makes people really aware of how they're thinking and how, the rubber band hitting against their arm can make them think about the pain that they're really causing themselves to endure every time that they have those thoughts. So practice positive thinking, apply it to your health and wellness journey, taking one step at a time. You're not going to do all of this overnight. You're not going to become a perfectionist, and you're not going to have this conquered in one day. Rome wasn't built in one day, and neither will changing your negative behaviors to positive ones take place overnight. But if you keep practicing them, they will happen and you will see those negative thoughts being replaced by positive ones if you continue to do those things. Now, before you know it, you find yourself feeling better about yourself and moving forward in a positive way toward a better you. And that is the end goal. And I guess some people would say, well, because this sounds so simple, does it really work? It really does work. When people, for example, just doing one thing, making a positive change, reading the Bible, for example, they find that it increases your positive mood. It lowers other types of negative behaviors. Because why? Because it's a positive thing. Being spiritual, focusing on God, it's very positive. And you can do that with just every time you have a negative thought go through your head, change it to a positive one. Stop yourself and immediately change it because your brain doesn't know any different, right? The brain, if it's always fed negative thoughts, it's going to be used to that. But if you change it to positive thoughts, it's going to get used to that. And that's something that we can do. And there's no magic to this. It's like when they started out talking about manifesting. You don't have to manifest anything. You have the ability within yourself to, change your thoughts, and that will lead to changing your behaviors. And it starts just simply, again, by, let's say, changing a negative thought that comes into your head and making it a positive one, putting positive affirmations. I know that may sound silly to some people, but it really is good. On a mirror, that you get dressed in front of every single day, put something there like, I am worthy. I'm a great person. I have the ability to do things that I wasn't even aware of. I can do all things through God. Whatever you want to put on your mirror that starts your day in a positive way will continue that on throughout the day. And it's just, again, we can get rid of those cognitive distortions of everything being so black and white. It's either good or it's bad. We know in this world, as we see today, not everything is good, not everything is bad, but there's certainly a lot of gray areas. And I think that the best thing that we can do for ourselves is start looking for the positive more than the negative. Because what you think and surround yourself with, that's what it's going to be like for you. Hey, Stephanie. And the thing of it is, it's kind of like you don't have control over the world, right? But you do have control over how you perceive it, what you think, and what you do about it. You can sit around all day and watch the news and be miserable. I've done that, been there, done that before. And what does that do? It takes you down and makes you more miserable. Or instead of doing that, let's say read the Bible first thing in the morning, which is what I do every single morning. That's how I start my day out. And it sets the tone for a positive day. And then what do? I, try to go through doing positive things during the day and get exercise in also. And on top of that, eating well. I want to do things that will, make it positive for me, right? Give me a better health benefit than I'm getting just sitting around dwelling on the negative. It's not helping anybody. All this is about changing your thoughts from negative thoughts to positive ones. And you watch it, just try that for a week, and your life is going to change. Your behavior is going to change before you know it. You won't even be aware of it, but you'll start feeling better. You'll start thinking better about different things, and you will start behaving differently and start doing things that are more positive. I'm telling you, for all of us, this is what has worked for me. And I think that if you try it, it may really work for you. Um, and as I've said, some of the people that are coming on here right now that I haven't seen in a while, the reason you haven't seen me on Facebook is I was kicked off of Facebook just like that. After 17 years, I was told that I violated community standards and that I did not even get a review. So I've been off since about June or July. I can't even remember. And I can tell you one thing, it has, in the beginning, I really was upset about it. I had a lot of people I had in contact with, but I knew that they could find me if they really wanted to find me. But I can be honest with you, I feel good about not giving Zuckerberg anything. I feel good about not always being, looking for the likes and the clicks and all of that, and trying to do more positive things than just sitting around and being on Facebook all day long and looking at a lot of, negative comments or, whatever. So, I think that, that's one of the things that you might want to try resisting social media and see how your attitude changes and how your positivity changes. It absolutely will. So again, for those who just came on that I've seen and haven't seen in a while, if you wonder where I went, that's what happened. And overall, it's been a positive thing. I mean, it really sucks because of the fact that, again, I was on there 17 years without any issues, and because it's getting near to the election, and I was talking more about politics and also talking about Christian beliefs. After a while, that's not looked on too well with Facebook. And so I went and switched to another platform like Rumble that will allow you to say whatever you want to say and not have fear of being kicked off because of your beliefs. All right. Does anybody have any thoughts, any questions, or anything else before we go? As you know, I do this show once a week on Tuesdays at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern time. And it's just a little show just to kind of give you some information that I think, that has helped me. It's been positive for me, has great results for me. For those who've been watching for a while now, you'll know that I've lost 30 pounds and I've been able to keep that off over a year. And I have done things that, I've lowered my cholesterol, lowered my blood pressure, lowered anxiety and everything else. And I want to just share, my journey with you. Doesn't mean this is going to work for you. It's always, again, as a disclaimer says in the very beginning of every show that you'll see posted, that what works for me may not work for you. Always consult with your doctor. But you never know what may happen because of the fact that you have made positive changes and that you have taken those positive changes. And as for me, what I did in the very beginning is that I went on the Mediterranean food plan. And I keep harping about that so much because it's very healthy for you and it will help you lose weight because you're eating well. You're doing great things for your body. I've also gone to more organics, uh, as I possibly can get. And I just feel like, things that I've done and made positive steps in my life that I wasn't sure, that I could do. But then I started changing my thoughts about those. And people ask me, well, the Mediterranean food plan, do I have to have certain amount this per day? Do I have to do this? Do I have to have this to eat and blah? No. All I did was I went on the internet and I looked for sort of like low calorie Mediterranean food plan, recipes, something that was easy to make. Sometimes, like when I eat out, I only eat Greek food, that type of thing. And I look to see what's in it so that I'm not getting, something that has a heavy sauce to it that adds to the calories and things of that nature. And it's not a fast weight loss. If you're looking for something like, Weight Watchers that really pretty much does it very quickly, you won't get that with the Mediterranean food plan. What you will get is just a slow process where you are losing the weight. And before you know it, again, like myself, 30 pounds was gone. And it was like, wow, when did that happen? It was great. And getting that exercise in. Stephanie said, I've heard wonderful things about that plan. I love Mediterranean food. It's absolutely the best food that I've ever eaten, the best thing I've ever done for myself. I wish I had done it years ago. I've never been hungry on the Mediterranean food plan ever. And I even have desserts on the Mediterranean food plan. So it's not limiting. I mean, yeah, you can't sit down and eat, 10 bowls of something. I mean, you have to be reasonable, but it's just healthy food. And it was my doctor, believe it or not, I was surprised. When I told him I wasn't going to take a pill that he wanted me to take to get my blood pressure under control and get rid of the cholesterol, we're talking about statins at this point. When I said I wasn't going to take one, then he went to, well, I said to him, what else can I do, doctor? Because I'm not taking the pills. And he said, well, there's a Mediterranean food plan. Now, why didn't he tell me that in the beginning? As we've talked about before, doctors want to give you a pill because it's easier and you can be more successful on a pill for most people because that's easier to take. And if you take that and everything is lowered, the doctor's like, see, I did a great job. But if you want to do a great job for yourself, that will keep you healthy longer, you may have to look into different things and a different approach to it. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't take a pill. That's between you and your doctor. But as for me, that was not what I chose to do. And because I chose the Mediterranean food plan, I was pre diabetic. That is gone. I had high cholesterol. That is gone, on and on. So I think that for me, I wanted to be healthy. Let's see. Stephanie said, I don't know why doctors do that. Please offer the healthy alternatives first. Yeah, they just do it because there's no malpractice in something like that. I mean, if it works, great, you'll be happy, right? They figure most people will be happy. But if they tell you to do the food and you don't, then maybe they'll have issues. Let's see. Deb said, good morning, Susan. Made a Mediterranean beef stew last night. By the way, today is mine and Shane's 37th wedding anniversary. Well, congratulations, Deb, on both of those. Um, and let's see. Bill, his creative note says, do you have a link to this kind of plan? There's no favorite link or anything else, Bill. It's just basically look up Mediterranean food plan and look up recipes. And that way you will get the food that you like and that you want to eat. I ate a lot of chicken souvlaki, which I love. You can have hummus, you can have all kinds of vegetables. And we've talked about the Mediterranean food plan before. So if you've missed any of the previous shows, go back and look those up. They're all on Rumble. They should still be on YouTube if they haven't taken things down. They still take things down for medical misinformation on something that I said 4 years ago, or well, actually going on 4 years ago about the C with the 19 after it. Even something from an ad or something that I read from another article, they take that down. So anyway, it's absolutely ludicrous. But getting on the Mediterranean food plan is just so simple. You'll see from the previous shows what some of the things are that people eat on that plan, and a lot of it is everything but the red meat. And you can have red meat on that plan, but it's not what I choose to do. I don't miss it. I've never really liked red meat all that much anyway, but it doesn't mean that you can't have it. You just have to have it less often. But again, if you look at that Mediterranean food plan, you'll see that it's excellent food that tastes really, really good. So you're not punishing yourself. I did years ago, I did do Weight Watchers. And for me, I was starving all the time, measuring out things. How do I do this? What do I eat? Going and getting some of the Weight Watchers food, which really, if you look back on it, it wasn't, it had a lot of salt in it. Okay. And a lot of things in it that for me wasn't healthy. So I'm just saying, try something healthy. If you're looking for something healthy, the Mediterranean food plan, it seems to be that. Again, it was recommended to me by my doctor. Ask your doctor about it, see if it's right for you. All right, so I guess we don't have any questions or anything else, any concerns. We'll go ahead and close for today. And we'll see you back here again next week. And if you would, please share this. Maybe somebody else can benefit from my journey, my weight loss and health and wellness journey, so they can benefit in their lives as well. All right. Until next time, God bless you. Take care. And for all of you in the snow and cold weather, stay warm. All right. God bless.